Hello, fabulous fans and superstars of my dear friend Nadiya Shah. I am Yuriria Robles and I wish you a very happy 2025. Welcome to the predictions for each sign for the month of January 2025. Remember to check your sun sign and the ascendant and also your moon sign so that you have a more complete prediction. Pisces, the month begins with a tense dialogue imposed by the moon and Pluto in conjunction in exact opposition to Mars in the work area, which means a job of action and confrontation, establishing a power struggle that proposes an interaction between the individual and the group in a balanced manner. The leader, in addition to acting with creativity, must consider the group who must show intelligence and discipline to control their obsession with the new. The strength is in the dialogue. Order has arrived in the institutions and workspaces to transform hidden problems and face secret opponents. It will be considered for now only because as Mars is in a period of retrogradation, on the 6th it re-enters Cancer to move its dialogue towards the Sun in Capricorn, turning attention towards the goals of the communities as well as creativity in society and in yourself. You will ask yourself what you want to achieve because you will have all your strength focused on protecting what gives you security. This dialogue generates anxiety and tension because moving towards the achievement of goals implies leaving the past behind, and that is scary, especially on the 13th when the full moon occurs together with Mars, strengthening the old values that made you good to where you are, and you feel that the goals and paths to improve put at risk what has been achieved. This process will extend until April, and only then will we return to the dynamic that was proposed on January 1st, allowing a leadership that is capable of moving the group towards the future with discipline and intelligence. In reference to love, Venus is finishing its passage in Aquarius, but it will move on the 3rd to your sign, Pisces, where its energy is expressed gently, imposing its logic of romance and idealism. This will lead you to review your appearance and you may long for an idealization of yourself, but keep in mind that it is a transit that will extend to the end. So, with all patience, seek to transform your image, but rather do it with discipline and perseverance before taking shortcuts or magical solutions that may produce unexpected results. You will have before you the challenge of commitment to this transformation, because on the 18th Venus reaches Saturn and a harmonious dialogue is established with Mars, emphasizing the longing for a past image and at the same time the desire for renewal, because Uranus imposes a brief harmonious connection. Towards the end of the month, when on the 28th Venus reaches the degree to which it will return in its retrograde period in March and April. On the 29th it reaches Neptune in Pisces and the North Node also enters your sign. So all this means a great idealization, a longing for beauty that surpasses all that is imagined. On the non-coherent side, it means a great sacrifice to achieve what you want if you discipline yourself, but be aware of your reality. This emphasis on your sign by the North Node will remain with you for 18 months, with its counterpart, the South Node in Virgo. It means that every transformation or beautification on you that you achieve contains the longing for an ideal, considerably increased by the Venus and Neptune conjunction. The objective of this configuration is to re-establish through faith, through the ideal, your image, inspiring you to beautify and fix yourself. You should also know that it carries the seal of impatience because it goes towards an inferior conjunction of Venus and will end in a long conjunction with Saturn, which is where it began, leading the process to the acceptance of reality. The presence of the South Node in the area of the couple imposes on you a need for analysis and critical judgment. You must know that this is an exercise in balance. Listen to what your partner has to say and observe. Do not take it personally, and try to understand that their point has to do with you being sensible and taking care of yourself and presenting the best of yourself. On the other hand, we have the confrontation of your ruling planet Jupiter with Saturn in your sign, which imposes on you a need to resolve what you have to say at home and how you have to say it without falling into drama, victimization. In addition, you have the obligation to be sincere and express what you feel in a light way, free of intensity. You also have to feel what you say and act in a mature, sensible manner, and above all, realistic. You have had the experience of 12 years of your modern ruler Neptune in your sign, and I suppose you have a lot to share, say, and feel. But if we take the floods as an example, you cannot let it all out at the same time because you could drown in all of it. Saturn asks you for order to express it, not only by speaking, but also by writing, creating art, or any creative form that contains and expresses everything you imagine, feel, and perceive. Avoid frivolous or intense discussions at home. Communication must occur, but of ideas, thoughts, intelligent reasons, new theories that are just beginning to manifest. Do not fear them. Exercising reasoning is what is needed now. It is no longer about intuition, inspiration. Now the theories and approaches to facts will be heard by those who live with you, and with that they will propose to you. You cannot get angry because it is about another way of understanding reality, and it is here to stay. It proposes the challenge of supporting everything with facts and methods, what you propose from now on. Growth and order are configured by Jupiter in Gemini and Saturn in Pisces. This supposes a conflict of possibilities. The dilemma is to change or continue as everything is, and Mars in Cancer is emphasizing the attachment to the past. On the other hand, Pluto imposes its orientation towards the future, making the choice even more tense and complex. The dilemma is to take a risk or deny an opportunity. Reconciling this is the work. This is a process that will be in effect until mid-year. The full moon on the 13th points out an active desire to protect your children and loved ones, but this is in contrast with your community goals and your new hopes. Balance well between what you want to safeguard and what you want to risk achieving the new. There can be no unique positions, no one's side or the other. Both sides have space in reality, even if you want to keep them both intact. It is not possible because you also feel a desire for freedom, and on the other hand, you feel hurt by the current situation. So you must move on in all fronts. The nodes at this time, still on the Aries-Libra axis, ask you to see what you have learned in 18 months and think about yourself and what you want to conquer. There will be movement in everything. It is about seeing that to achieve something new in any matter, you have to be brave and act. This period emphasizes the decision-making process between the old and the new. Leaving the comfort zone requires courage and knowing how to adapt to the unknown. The above will be idealized because Neptune is lifting the veil of the ideal of the past, and Pluto supports this mirage. But at the same time, we are tempted by the new due to the harmonious dialogue with Uranus at this time. In addition, we feel the confrontation of the wound of the past with the rebellion to reach an agreement. We are in no way willing to give in on anything. As if that were not enough, Venus at this time, together with Saturn, cooperates in the tense dialogue with Jupiter. that proposes an excess of communication with multiple voices and proposals that cause dispersion, and yet the resolution of this conflict would make us win the future. I propose calm and patience because the pressure of the new is inevitable. Neptune allows us to imagine how improvement would be possible. Without losing security, perhaps we can sacrifice some things, situations, or relationships in search of progress, realizing that they are really a burden or a comfort zone and that we can no longer stay in the same place or in the same situation. So we can be honest and use diplomacy and elegance to dismiss the old and strive to reach the new. As I said at the beginning, it requires an exercise of discipline, effort, and willpower, above all, to reach the desired goal. Now let us remember that belonging does not mean adjusting or conforming to what others say or do. It is about offering the best of ourselves and negotiating with others. If they do not want, then that is not the place. On the other hand, accepting what others are offering. If you don't want to, then there's no obligation to stay either. But by accepting each and every one obtains the possibility of their actions fulfilling their obligations while maintaining a creative attitude in the group. Even through Uranus, we have the willingness to change the costume and the old ways. Mercury, in its passage through Capricorn, also focuses on the goal, but even with that, we can insist on the fear that gives us to lose what we have gained, even if it means improvement. It is wanting to put on new shoes without taking the old ones off. The new moon on the 29th emphasizes all those rational proposals. There is no way to avoid them. What I suggest is that you do not establish a power struggle with the people at work. Try to impose your creativity or not avoid new proposals, which you will not be able to do, of course. If new theories, elements, and facts arrive with which to accept a new work rhythm, there is no other option than to discipline yourself. Even if you work on your own, remember that there are many bosses who are your clients, and they have their logic and reasons that you must respect. If you are going to succeed in something from now on, it is with good sense and maturity, as well as knowledge and acceptance of reality. This new moon in Aquarius is preceded by Pluto and by Mercury, which leads to fascination and a taste for the new. In addition, Jupiter at this time brings a harmonious dialogue to get it right with its enthusiasm and multiple ideas inciting towards the new and technology. The North Node is added, which promises an ideal, a utopia, if you will, and at this moment, the position of Mars in relation to Saturn seems to show agreements on what is worth preserving and what is not. This last planet is the ruler of the lunation, and in its position in your sign, it brings us an effort to accept that it is possible to put the imagined reality in order. At times, what we imagine may be too big, and nevertheless, we still suffer the excesses of Pisces and try to achieve an improvement. The essential challenge to overcome is to accept the wound, forgive in order to move on, and force us to negotiate, being honest with those who need to. Only in this way we will be able to overcome resentment, anger, and paralysis. The contradiction between the group of planets in Pisces and those in Aquarius makes action difficult for us. On the one hand, it awakens rebellion, and on the other, the wound of acting at the wrong time or without success. The essential thing in terms of relationships is to accept that we must communicate without falling into drama, manipulation, or victimization. But the obligation now and for 18 months is to understand feelings, our own and those of others. Analysis will not be in fashion, but we must try to take them into account nevertheless. The path to resolution is long and goes in this direction. First, let's give space to the new asking ourselves what we want to free from. Then let's review what is truly valuable, inspires, has a special place in our heart. Let's make the decision to act with discipline, and then let's remember our purposes and goals. It is with all this that we understand that changing is for our own good. Neither foolishness nor dramas helps us at this time. To end the month, the emphasis is on Aquarius. It helps us to be intelligent. But let us remember that we are beginning to revalue intelligence. No matter how high it is, it cannot isolate us through arrogance. It is rather to teach, to communicate to others, to suggest new paths and solutions, not to impose them by force. Even if it is Pluto, let's choose the path of transformation and let's avoid the path of imposition. We can do it.